Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Oxcord Podcast, presented by Boot Crew Media and sponsored by Makers Mark. I am your host, Cruz Oxenrider. As always, joined by the co-host Nick Perkins, who is currently on the IR, and on Snow, and Wyatt is in the cave. Boys, happy holidays. How we doing?
Yeah, no, this is my Jordan flu game, man. This is me high as a motherfucker on Percocets, and yeah, my arm is wanting to fall off right now, but we know what we're playing through. We're gonna keep it going. We haven't been very good with actually doing a show recently, mainly because of me. So had to power through today. So good to be back though. What's it been, like a couple weeks?
It's been 2 weeks. So we've had a lot going on during the holidays, and Nick getting surgery and everything going on. So it's been kind of nuts, especially with the holiday season. So we have an episode this week for Christmas, and then we're doing one next week. And then we're gonna start changing a few things around with the show. So we're excited to talk about that later at another time. But got to go over some things we missed.
Wait, hold on, one second, Bon. Like I know you're on your laptop now. And
yeah,
I just want to say you've never more looked like a serial killer in your entire life than your like blurry face.
I mean, I have my camera. I just didn't want to set it up because, like, my
I get it.
has a camera built in.
It's
totally fine.
It's your ceiling fan light that is shining upon you. That's giving you like Jeffrey Dahmer glow.
It's like you're in an interrogation room and that light is like swaying above you, and it's just like kind of ever so cascading upon your face, and it's like, Bond, you've killed people before, right?
It's like the interrogation scene where it's like, yeah, Jeffrey, we know that you're guilty. We know
like you played in that woman's guts, so like you need to go to jail. I actually never saw that show, but I saw the
I watched the first episode. I was done.
I don't think Bond. Did you finish that show ever?
I got to like episode 3, and then I was like, okay.
I
see why people are saying this, but I don't need to watch this.
I don't either. It's gross
to me.
Did it get
too weird because the guy playing the character looked so much like you that it was just too weird to handle?
No, it wasn't even that. I was just like,
Wyatt, can we quickly get a picture of that guy and just supersede it next to Bond's face? I need to, like, for comparison for anybody watching. I feel like
here I can send one in the Twitter group chat.
It's just it's
Vinny already made one.
Oh my god. Okay, this show's already
and yeah. So I started on a weird note there, but you know what I'm talking about? How it just like it was moving his head, and I was like, oh my god, dude. Like,
Bond, like we
check your closets.
Can we turn the HD settings up on your camera a little bit?
Yeah, you're sitting at like maybe 240p.
I would have to hook up my other camera. This is
just hit settings. Camera. Hit settings and camera resolution. It's not hard.
It really. I think I'm at 1080p. I'm a rich boy. You know.
Yeah. Right.
1% life.
All right. Anyways, all right. We got a lot to go over. NFL has been absolutely insane the last couple of weeks. College football bowl season is in full effect. We'll go over the big games next week, but I mean, we got to start with NFL. Nick, I want to start this off with you.
Yeah.
I want to get this out of the way because for years, 28-3 has haunted you.
Yes. Yeah.
The new one that
it's 33-0.
It's 33-0, but it's still held by Matt Ryan. I mean, can we talk about a guy who is going to be known as maybe the most cursed quarterback of all time?
I don't think he's a choke artist, man. He can't get it done when the lights are on. He can't do it.
Here's the thing is that it wasn't so much even Matt Ryan that played terribly. I really like watching that game. He did like everything just kind of seemed to go like Indianapolis' way. Like Kirk Cousins threw a pick 6. There was a block punt. Like Dalvin Cook couldn't get really anything going towards the end. Matt Ryan was like, he was mid. He wasn't like terrible.
He's what you expect a 37-year-old Matt Ryan to do.
He was 19 of 33, 182 yards, threw a touchdown. Had a QBR of 83. Like he didn't do anything special. Jonathan Taylor didn't play, which we know he's out for the year now. But it just seemed like even if Matt Ryan played horrible, there's no way they could possibly blow this lead, right? And then what started to happen? They got too comfortable, and there was just this looming feeling that Minnesota scored. I'm like, all right, well, it's 7-33. Like, there's no way, right?
Right.
And then the fact that Indianapolis, who had dominated the entire game, was held to 3 total points the entire third, fourth, and overtime. This is on the Indianapolis defense. This is on Jeff Saturday. This is unexcusable. And Matt Ryan is going to get flamed for it for the rest of his career because he's going to have 28-3 because Kyle Shanahan refused to run the football. And he's going to have 33-0 because he has a offensive lineman who's never coached in the NFLs before, who doesn't know late game situation. I mean, it was just awful.
There's a lot of I'm so shocked that there isn't somebody on that Colts staff that is at least somewhat familiar with late game strategy, and he's not in Jeff Saturday's ear. Like, hey man, we need to burn some clock here. Even if we're 3-and-out punting, we need to take some time off, or like there's got to be somebody in his ear, and I don't know if he's ignoring that or if it's somebody has tried to and he's told him don't talk to me, or I don't know what it is, but it was almost like it was fixed. That's how big of a blow
it really was.
One. I mean, it was everything had to go exactly perfectly in that second half.
Yeah.
And it did. And it was almost like everybody was like rooting towards the same thing. And like as a Falcons guy, like Matt Ryan was forever my guy. Like he was my starting NFL MVP. I went to bat for this dude even after 28-3. This is almost inexcusable. And the reason I say it comes back on Matt Ryan is you're a quarterback. The ball is in your hands every single play, right? Yeah. And you're a 37-year-old. You're an NFL vet. You're getting paid lots of money, probably more than what a 37-year-old Matt Ryan is worth, his contract in Indy right now. You got to be able to take the game over, tell the coach, I'm not listening to that. I know what to do. You know what I mean? And I understand there's a hierarchy, but Jeff Saturday needs to trust his quarterback, and Matt Ryan needs to be an alpha and go out there and take a game over and know, okay, like if Indianapolis gets like 2 more first downs in that entire span of that second half, Minnesota doesn't even have the time to get back in the game, let alone actually get back and score and win the game, right? So it comes down to Matt Ryan just not being able to make a play. And I think that's why he should be blamed the most. Yes, Jeff Saturday absolutely has a part to blame in this for sure, because this late game strategy was terrible. But Matt Ryan absolutely has a part to play in that loss as well. And coming from a guy that had to defend him for years and years and years, like you have to be able to put a little bit of blame on the quarterback. Because like anybody else, right? Like if Carson Wentz blew that, he's getting burnt on that too. I would say anybody like Josh Allen, best player, ESPN's golden boy, Patrick Mahomes. If that happened to them, they'd get criticized for that. So that's my point. It's like, I think Matt Ryan needs to retire. It's not in it anymore for him. I don't even think the guy cares anymore, truly. So that's my take. I think the guy needs to hang it up, hang the jersey up and be done with it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Because I'm watching this game and I'm like, there's no way they're gonna blow this. Like they're going to score and make it unreachable. Something is going to happen because it was just too good to be true. And I don't know, like this is just gonna go. Like if this was a playoff game, you can never live. Like Matt Ryan should have just retired immediately after this game ended. 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. You listen to Pardon My Take, right? He goes on Pardon My Take, and I think somebody actually asked him. He was like, "How many times do you enter an away NFL stadium and somebody screams 28-3 at you?" He's like, "Every single game. Every single time I travel to an away game, 28-3 is brought up. It's getting brought up on the broadcast." And not only that, now you have a 33-0 lead with 8:26 left in the third. Half the damn quarter's gone. I don't know. It was a quarter and a half, and they blew a 33-point lead. That's incredible to me. Incredible. I have it up right here. 28-3 with 2:38 left in the third. That was the Super Bowl. 30-20 with 5:59 left in the fourth. Lost that one. 17-0 with 12:50 left. In the third, lost that one. 39-24 with 4:57 left in the fourth, lost that one. 26-10 with 6 minutes left in the game. and they lose that one 24-7 with 4:35 left in the third and lose that one. I mean, needs to retire, man. And that's all within the last 2 or 3 years.
That's bad.
That's bad.
All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll stop roasting Matt Ryan a little bit.
We'll move from roasting Matt Ryan to roasting the Falcons.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, we can do that. We can look. And I said it. One Sunday I went from having the best team in the group chat, obviously the Packers and the Saints. Like the Saints have been a dumpster fire the whole season. The Packers have been lost until what seems like the last 2 weeks, and the Falcons have actually been fun to watch. So I've actually had the best team on the show, and it has since regressed now to being I am now the joke, and the Packers and the Saints look like they can actually make the playoffs. So that's what sucks.
I mean, look, Nick, honestly, this game should have been way worse than it actually was. And
you are 100% right. It should have. And if you guys even had a competent, like Alvin Kamara I think he's only scored once this entire year. He had a 3-touchdown game against the Raiders, and then has done absolutely nothing. So it's not so much his fault.
I think he's had a quarter of his season's fantasy points comes from that Las Vegas game.
Yeah,
that's
44.
Insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's embarrassing. And here's the thing: a lot of it's not even his fault. It's just so much of him not getting the football. It's us not using him properly, and it's the fact that this season shows how much and how important Sean Payton and Drew Brees.
Yes. Yeah. Great point.
I mean, this is just it's insane.
Because Andy Dalton is not that bad. He's not I don't think he's you can even put him as he's our guy moving forward. He's definitely somebody that can just be a serviceable guy. But you're definitely going to have to find somebody. He's not bad. You should definitely win games by a larger margin against the likes of Atlanta. Even Tampa Bay this year is not good. The Saints should absolutely be number one in the division in the NFC South this year, even with the team that they have.
It's absolutely embarrassing. I mean, it's just I don't.
Do you want to fire your coach, that guy, that nerd?
God, yes, I want to fire him. I want to fire the offensive coordinator, and I want to start fresh, 100%. It makes this team makes no sense because Nick, it's this division's so bad, so bad. A team that has gone from Baker Mayfield to PJ Walker to Sam Darnold is tied for the division with a team led by Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That is how bad this division is this year, and the Saints still can't get out of their own way. I mean, this is anything that can and will go wrong has gone wrong for the Saints, and it's just this. A part of me wants this team to win the NFC South just for pure chaos. But we're gonna
okay. So any team out of the NFC South that can actually make a run in the playoffs, it's definitely the Saints. I would say. I'd say Brady. I think it is. That team is broken, dude.
Well, here's the thing. It's just such vintage Brady that if he gets there, look, this is what's gonna happen. Tampa Bay is gonna win the NFC South. They're gonna go to a playoff game. They're gonna host a playoff game. They're probably gonna play Dallas, most likely. They're gonna beat Dallas because Brady's just gonna Brady them. And then they're going to go to the divisional round where they're going to play Philly.
They can't beat Philly. There's no way they can beat Philly.
Well, here's the thing. That's what we all think, right? And what ends up happening, we're going to have the team that is known for having great teams and choking. And then ends up winning that. And then they're going to play in the NFC Championship game against, let's say, Minnesota. You're going to take Kirk Cousins over Tom Brady?
Not in prime time. That's for damn sure.
In the NFC Championship game in a dome, Nick. Not even in the cold, in a dome.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get him on a neutral field in a dome in Arizona against either Patrick Mahomes, who he's beaten, or Josh Allen, who he's beaten.
I just don't think he has talent. Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette in that running game. I just don't think their offensive line is that good. Their defense is actually halfway sort of woken up a little bit, but I mean, Tom Brady fell apart in the second half of that last game that they were in. Who'd they lose to? Who did they lose to? I can't remember who they lost to, but they completely blew up in the middle of the game. Tom Brady threw like 2 picks for the first time in like 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what's going on with him, but like I don't think they can make a run in the playoffs.
But it's just like it's just hard to bet against him because I've just seen him do it. I mean, like, and I know that he's old and this team is kind of weird and everything that's going along with it. So it's just hard for me to do it. But like, here's the thing: if the Saints host a playoff game, we're going to get waxed. We're going to lose, and it's going to be embarrassing. And I don't want that. Like, I don't want to play Dallas and just get absolutely embarrassed.
Lose by 30. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to play the Commanders and get waxed by Tyler Heineke. You know how embarrassing that is? And then
they got absolutely screwed in their game. Did you see that?
You got absolutely.
Oh my god, that is up there with anything the Saints have gone through. How bad that was.
That was bad. So like, imagine that, Nick, in a playoff game.
Ugh. Oh yeah, no, not even. It was to go to the NFC Championship, right? It was the division.
No, it was to go to the Super Bowl.
To go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So just imagine that, but like even worse. And like, yeah. So it just makes it that much worse. But like speaking on the game, because we've like roasted. So look, I'll say this: like Desmond Ridder, rookie, first start, playing in the Superdome. The season is lost for both teams. He's playing against an experienced defense. I thought he made some plays. I thought his late game situational awareness was bad. I mean, like, if you think about it, the 3 rookies for the Falcons offensively actually all played really well. Drake London got just a bad fumble. Like that was just a veteran.
It's the most Falcon thing ever, though.
That was just a veteran defensive player making a big time play late in the game. And then you guys still had a chance to go down and tie or win the game. And I don't know what he was doing, man. He like rolled out and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Get out of bounds. Like on the last play of the game, he just rolls out and just like runs. And I'm like,
well, see, that's kind of the thing is like, and that's your late game awareness, like you're talking about, and that'll come with experience. You know, you can't come in your first game as a rookie and expect him to be like on it, like late game Tom Brady. You know what I mean? You just can't expect that. But I do expect you to understand the situation in which you're in, or the one play of the drive that you're going to be out there, because it was a 2-play drive. We had 6 seconds when we got the ball back.
Yeah.
You run a 5 and out. You get the ball maybe on the 40-yard line, maybe a little bit less than that, with 3 seconds left. You have to know that you're in Hail Mary mode. No matter what, you have to know that you're throwing the ball 60 yards in the air. Like there was no part in which he could run for a touchdown or run and get in field goal range at that point. You can't even sprint. Like you were in a dead out sprint, you couldn't get to the field goal range in 3 seconds. So that's where I get a little bit bothered by it, is like, it's not like you're running 2-minute offense and you made a mistake. You got down inbounds and couldn't stop the clock. That's a mistake that I can forgive. But you have a 2-play, like you got to get there and you got to throw the ball 65 yards. That's just what you have to do. And he didn't realize that. And maybe that's coaching on the sidelines. I don't know. But I mean, like you said, the season's lost. I'm not upset with that loss because, like you said, that should have been a 35-13 kind of game. We should have gotten our brakes beat in, and we didn't.
It was 14-0 after 6 minutes.
Right.
I mean,
and the defense still has that spark, which I'm still impressed by. I hope we take into the next year. I don't know if Desmond Ridder is the guy. I feel like I might eat crow for saying this, because he might turn out to be a serviceable guy because he wasn't horrible. He looked in control of the offense at least. But
he had a bye week to go into it. I thought he played well.
I thought he's played okay, just okay. He played about what I expected him to play. So I don't know. We can move on from it because the Falcons aren't even worth taking up 3 minutes of this show because they're so bad. But we can talk about the Packers, who if they don't make the playoffs, are just wasting draft capital right now.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let's talk about the Packers the last few weeks, where it has been absolutely – Bond, here's the thing. Me and Nick's teams are hard to watch because we're just bad. You guys have no reason to be bad.
Oh, absolutely not.
You guys have no reason to be bad. I watched the game last night, and I'm pretty sure that was the most bored I've been watching a football game this year.
What do you mean?
Well, I had a
very
10
good
unit
last night.
I had a 10-unit play on the Packers, so I was enjoying it. But
I mean, Aaron Rodgers was on his back most of the night. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there's something going on between Aaron Rodgers and the rest of these young guys. Like, I mean, he's like, you guys have the game in lock, and he's screaming at a rookie receiver. It looks like him and Matt.
To be fair,
on it, but no, I mean, like, you shouldn't be throwing the. Why are you throwing the ball on third and
I think they were just trying to pad Watson's stats to improve his overall odds. I think.
Because
he hadn't scored a touchdown all night, and so he was sitting at 7 touchdowns in the last 5 games or something. And I think they wanted the streak to keep going.
He still had a pretty good game. I think he had 5 or 6 catches for like 80 yards. So I mean, you got to think touchdown on top of that. That's a pretty good game for him. But yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, like it's 40 seconds left in the game, 3rd and 2. You're going to check out of a run play to try and throw it. I get it, but also like whatever. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal to me. But yeah, he did. He was tearing into some ass. He made that check, like obviously the sleep check, and he was screaming at that poor bastard. I felt bad for him, to be honest with you.
But yeah, so it was just a weird game. I mean, like the Rams too were just, dude, how bad are the Rams this year? Like
that's got to be the worst Super Bowl hangover.
It is. It is statistically the worst Super Bowl hangover ever, and the fact that they don't have a first-round pick, it goes to the Seahawks, or not the Seahawks. I'm sorry, the Lions. So right now, the Lions, I think, have the 4th pick.
Yes, after the loss last night, it's the 4th pick.
Yeah, the 4th.
The Lions are going to make the playoffs after being 2-7,
1-6,
1-6,
and now they're 7-7.
They're going to make the playoffs and have a top 5 pick. That's incredible. That's like Philly.
So this is, oh my God, don't talk about that. But here's the thing. So I was thinking about that. I was talking to my friend who's an Eagles fan the other day, and I was like, if the Saints make the playoffs, some miracle way, that pick is going to go from a top 10 pick all the way to 24.
No kidding.
And it's like, so like at that point, it's like, all right, like it's not terrible. It's not great.
Yeah, I don't even think the Saints are in the playoff picture right now.
We are at 5.
Yeah, they need some stuff. They have to win out, and then I think you need some stuff to happen. It's the same thing as the Packers.
So
like you're still in it, but
So this is what needs to happen. So we have to win out. We play Cleveland this weekend, which after watching Cleveland, I'm like, okay, they're not that good.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're really not. And then we need Carolina to beat Tampa. So, which they play this weekend.
Realistic. Yeah, it's realistic.
We play an Eagles team without Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew, which they probably will lock up the 1 seed, so they'll rest their players.
Mm-hmm.
And then we end the season with Carolina. So if we went out, and we need a few things to happen. It's not unrealistic though. Like it's really not. Like we can actually win the division, which is absolutely insane to me.
Fair. I forgot your division leader was Tampa at 6-8.
6-8.
It's so bad.
Okay, so here's a question. I saw this actually because I was working. I had ESPN on earlier, Sports Center. Do you think division leaders that have less than a 500 record should make the playoffs? Because I think they shouldn't. In my opinion,
in this case this year, yes.
Well, okay, in this year, fine, but like I'm saying, in general, I feel like if you're less than 500, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. There's no way. There's no way. It should go to the next highest, like in another division or something like that. But only in the case that you're below 500. If you're at 500, fine, like go through whatever. But if you're below 500, I don't think you deserve to make the playoffs. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't happen. How often does it really happen, though, Nick? I mean, come on.
Like, the NFC East, like 2 or 3 years ago, that happened.
Well, yeah, but it's only been 3 times in the last, 30 years. It's been the Seahawks that 1 year with Pete Carroll. Then it was the NFC East, and then it's this year. I mean, it's so uncommon because, dude, who in this year thought the Saints and the Bucks were going to go be under 500?
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, nobody. Yeah.
Not a lot of people, but same with the Packers. No one thought the Packers were going to be anything, and the Packers can still make the wild card. I mean, same with the Lions, or in the fact that you have the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders all right there, which is insane to me. I mean, this it's just a mess. All right, but we've talked enough about the NFC because it doesn't matter. The AFC is going to win it all this year. We'll just do like a quick speed run, kind of go over some things. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars have finally arrived.
Yeah,
dude.
I still don't like Trevor Lawrence though.
I don't like him either, Nick. But over the last 5 games,
let me ask you this. This is actually a hard question.
Okay.
Would you rather have Trevor Lawrence right now or Justin Herbert right now?
What team? What team do I have around me?
You have Jacksonville's team, but would you rather have? Would you rather have?
I would take Trevor
Lawrence or Trevor? See, I agree. I'm the same. The people that say Justin Herbert is a top 5 QB right now are fucking crazy. Those people are nuts.
He's not.
Who's saying that he's a top 5 QB?
People on Twitter, dude. I'll go on Twitter and say like Justin Herbert's not that good, and I'll have no kidding 6 or 7 people that we don't have any mutuals. They're like LA Charger fans, like all 5
that are just looking up Justin Herbert.
That are just looking up Justin Herbert takes and then like shitting on people that say he's not good, but he's not good. Like I would, even with Tua's downswing, the last 3 games, I would take Tua, and I'm saying that from I get the bias there, but like I watch Justin Herbert play and he's not good. Like he's okay, he's serviceable, but like I wouldn't go and replace him with a 1st round pick, but like to sit there and say he's on the same caliber or like even close to where like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen are, that's crazy. That's an insane take.
Yeah, it was. I think it's absolutely insane. Like I think he's top 10. I don't think he's top 5.
Top 10 for sure. But like people saying he's the Messiah, like no
he's not. So like here, we'll even do this. I'll be like, all right, so we'll do would you rather like Justin Herbert edition. All right. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert.
Patrick
Mahomes. Vaughn.
Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen.
Allen.
Josh Allen.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Tua. That's
Tua.
That's a 50-50 to me because Tua's so bang or bust, but my bias, I'm going to say Tua.
Okay. Joe Burrow.
No, Joe Burrow if it comes with Jamar Chase. I don't know how I feel about Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase.
Their connection is pretty nuts, so that's a fair.
Lamar Jackson, healthy.
Healthy Lamar Jackson, I'd 100%.
Oh yeah.
More. Okay. Trying to think who else. Who else is up there? Let's see.
Take Trevor Lawrence over him.
That.
I would take Justin Herbert over Dak Prescott though.
I would.
That's fair. I would too.
And I would take him over Kyler Murray.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so are we talking like building a team around him, or are we talking like this season?
You get 1 year with 1 quarterback.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers all day.
Yeah.
I would probably go Justin Herbert over Tom Brady this year, though, for real.
Oh,
like yeah. I know that's kind of crazy, but like Tom Brady's not good.
Matt Stafford, healthy.
See, he's been hurt all year. That's the thing.
Won a Super Bowl last year.
I would take Matthew Stafford on the point that you get Cooper Kupp, though. Like, if we're doing the same thing, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, like Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford just have that connection.
All right. Fair enough. All right. So, look, the Jags have arrived. 4 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence, winning overtime on a pick 6. Kansas City is fighting very dangerously with fire. I mean, like a 1-12 Houston Texans team takes you to overtime. And Patrick Mahomes basically is like, hey, just like, look what I can do. Broncos somehow win. Don't know how. Without Russell Wilson, by the way.
Is it? Oh, yeah. He's stuck at 11 touchdowns.
Yes.
The dude's going to have to keep doing the series. Is he coming back?
Yeah. I have no idea. But the face of that man, I put a picture on Twitter. He's like so sad that he has to keep making those videos. I don't know if he's a Denver Bronco fan or if he's just a guy that was like, man, I did not think I was going to have to do this for 15 straight weeks. But he looks straight depressed every single one of the videos he puts out. It's amazing. I love that series, though.
It's so funny.
It's the best.
I mean,
sorry, Cruz.
And then you have I think this is probably the craziest finish we'll ever see in a game. Like one of the craziest finishes we'll ever see in an NFL game was
Raiders,
the Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean,
Patriots.
Dude,
Mac Jones gets stiff armed into like the mantle of the earth, like through the dirt. That man. But to be fair,
what is he supposed to do?
That's my thing. People are like, "Oh, you got to get up there and make a top." Bro, he's got 60 pounds and maybe 5 inches of height on Mac Jones. Like that's like me trying to tackle like a college running back. There's just no chance that's happening.
I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like I don't. I think like he's a quarterback who. How many quarterbacks have we seen get hurt and end their season from trying to make a tackle or get a fumble? And I know like the game's on the line, but it's like you're one-on-one on the field with maybe one of the most athletically gifted defensive ends in the entire NFL, and Chandler Jones. And he's like, look, he's just trying to trip him up at this point. He's just trying to grab his legs, and he gets stiff arm. And it's just like, it's tough. I mean, but here's the thing. It never should have came down to that. It was a draw play. They were going to try and run the clock out. They picked up a lot of yards. And once Jacoby Myers got the ball and saw to be like, hey, like, there's clearly nothing here. Just go down, dude.
Just go down. Yeah.
And like, and here's the real kicker. Out of all the people you're going to throw the ball to, you're going to throw the Mac Jones, who is not athletically like inclined to run 50 yards down the field. Like he is. Like, what is he supposed to do?
God bless the man. He can't. I mean,
he's got.
What was his 40 time? It had to have been in the 5 seconds, right? He was definitely a 5-second guy.
I'm gonna give him a 4.9. I'm gonna give him a 4.8 or a 4.9.
I'm gonna say 5.2. Give me just. I'm
4.83.
Damn. Okay, Mac.
And then okay. Stats. There you go.
Nice.
But no, I mean, it was just rough, man. It really was.
I hate it for him because he's kind of like a laughingstock, and that's nowhere near his fault. I mean, like, if any, it's Ramondre Stevenson and it's Jacoby Myers that should take the full brunt of that blame, because why the hell are you even trying that in a tie game? I get if you're down 1, you're trying to win the game, do anything you can. And that's happened before, but like, you know, the crazy endings where the defense gets a touchdown right at the end of the game because of something like that. But I mean, you got to know the situation and just go down, play for overtime at that point. But who knows? It sucks though that the because I had Patriots +5 in that game, so that one sucked because they ended up losing by 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of it was just. I was at the bar watching it, and we were just like, "There's no way that just happened." That's like some Minnesota Miracle.
That's like, kick six kind of
shit where you're just like, "That didn't just happen, did it?"
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's like stuff you see in college. Like that's just like that's not. Well, that's kind of our NFL recap. Our teams are not really that exciting, and it's just kind of hard for us to be excited about it when our teams are so mid, and it's just kind of tough. But you know what isn't mid, Nick?
What's that?
The DraftKings Sportsbook app. Make sure you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and bet $5 on any team to win and win $200 in free bets. It's a holiday season. Football season is almost done. That means we're approaching college football season, which means I'm pretty sad about it. Make sure you use promo code BOOT. That's BOOT on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We only have a few more football games left, so make sure you get your gambling in while you can, but don't go overboard with it. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sponsor of the Oxford podcast. And with that being said, Nick, it is bowl season in college football. My favorite time of the year. It is the best. So we're not going to go over the big games this week. Next week, we're going to do a whole dedicated show to our college football wrap-up and the big games left of the year. So we're excited for that. But I do want to touch on the games that we have left that have already been playing or being played this week. So honestly, Nick, there's some good games that are going to be played and that have already been played. I got to touch on this one first. There's 2 I got to touch on. One, I want to start with the Jackson State game. Like Jackson State versus North Carolina Central. Did you watch that?
I hate that for that tight end, man, so much.
I was going to say this.
Like that crushed my soul seeing that.
Well, one, I was actually really surprised. I didn't know this. I didn't know Deion Sanders was going to coach the bowl game. I didn't know that. I thought he was already at Colorado. I thought he was done. I saw him do the press conference. Like I thought he wasn't going to coach. I took a few things away from it. One, his son is a really good quarterback.
Yeah, he's really good.
Reese Sanders is going to be really good. He's going to go to Colorado. He's going to play for his dad, and he's legit. Travis Hunter is even better. That kid is going to go anywhere he wants and make millions of dollars. Like if I'm him though, Nick, I'm not going to Colorado.
Really?
I'm not going to Colorado.
Interesting.
Why? So here's this. He's the number one player in the country last year in high school. I feel like he had a feeling Deion was only going to be there for a year.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a splash. I'm going to make it cool. And like, I'm not just going to take the traditional route. Like, I'm going to go play with Deion. He got his NIL money. Deion's gone now. And I think he needs to go somewhere and play for a big time program. So like, there's a part of me, man, that thinks he's actually going to go to the team that he burned. And that's Florida State.
Florida State. Yeah. I can totally see that.
Because look, like Florida State's returning everyone next year. They have a legit shot of winning the ACC next year with everyone they're returning. They had a great. I think they're number 4 in recruiting right now. They're getting some dudes. They're winning the transfer portal. They have a legit shot to make some noise last year, and you get him to come along with it. A kid who's been who's been committed to you since like 9th grade, 10th grade. I think he'd fit in perfect with that team because he can play. He can come in and play corner or play wide receiver. So I don't think he's going to go to Colorado. Dude, Colorado is such a mess. Right now, they're one of the worst teams in college football. You play in the Pac-12, so you're going to have to play USC, UCLA, Oregon, Arizona's on the come up. Utah just won it all last year. I mean, USC is going to be probably top 3 preseason next year with Caleb Williams coming back. That team just no. If I'm him, I'm going to Florida State. I'm going to Georgia, or I'm going to a big time. Like I would love for him to come to Bama. Like holy, like that would be amazing.
He's an unbelievable athlete. Here's my thing, and I wonder how much of this is like truly ingrained with like Deion. You know, like is it like I will follow you wherever you go, Deion Sanders, which like a lot of people would, and I don't think necessarily that's a bad thing. Obviously, it's a good thing for branding purposes. Because Deion's always going to grab headlines no matter where he goes. But here's my issue, and you kind of touched on it a little bit because Colorado is a mess right now. Yes, they went and got a guy in Deion Sanders who's going to really excite everybody in the program. I just don't know if Colorado is a place, and I get they've won a national championship. They've definitely been relevant before, but I don't know, man. Something is just really getting at me that I feel like Deion is not going to succeed there. He's going to be a very like 6-6, you know, maybe a 7-4 kind of guy at Colorado. And because he's getting, when he loses in the HBCU league, he's getting out coached. He has the best players on the field.
Easy.
And he's getting straight out coached by some of these guys that are in the HBCU. And no disrespect to that league at all. You know, there's definitely some raw guys in that league. Clearly, some of them, you know, play in the NFL today. But I just don't know if because he's going to be going up against Lincoln Riley. He's going to be going up against some legit premier college coaches that are, you know, top 15 in the country as far as head coaches. And I don't know if he's going to be able to hang with them coaching wise. So I'll eat crow if I'm wrong. I just don't think everybody's excited for him and like, oh my God, he's going to change Colorado and like, you know, going to make them amazing. They're going to make the playoffs, like all this. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening there.
I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous, man. Like, I mean, like I'm excited to see what he can do at Colorado. I think he's going to do fantastic.
You think it? So really? So I want to know why. Is it because like you think he's going to do well in like the transfer? And here's good guys there.
Here's the thing with Deion, and you can disagree with me if I'm wrong. Like, I think Deion is the kind of guy who knows that he knows his specialties. He knows that he's a recruiter. He knows that he's entertaining. He knows that it can win a room anytime he walks in. However, though, the coaching level of the HBCUs are only so good. And can only have so much money because now there's reports coming out with like the funding and you know like all the NIL money and all these things. Difference is here at Colorado, Boulder is a prestigious school. It is. It's a hard school to get into academically. It's a respected school. They've won a national championship. They used to dominate the 90s. Like they did. Like the 80s, 90s, like they were elite. Early 2000s, really good.
It used to be, you used to make fun of Georgia because Colorado had won a national championship.
It's true.
More recently than they had.
It's true. And so, like, the thing is, Dion can go get guys. Like actual coordinators, like actually like NFL guys who want to go, because like Boulder is a good place to go and live.
Sure.
Even if you're working for a university, like you're not going to like the middle of nowhere. Like you're going to a beautiful college town where people like go on vacation, like to go skating. And so like I think he can bring in a great coaching staff. I think he can bring in guys who just like, hey, I want you to run this defense. I will not interfere. I want you to run this offense. I will not interfere. Let me go get you those guys you can plug and play. Like Trey Sanders probably going to go to Colorado.
Do you think his ego would allow that, though?
Oh, yeah. Really? Because here's the thing. That was going to be like – so when I talked to someone when originally he was up for the Florida State job, he was going to bring Derek Brooks to come coach the defense, the Florida State legend, one of the best linebackers of all time in football, NFL Hall of Famer. And he was going to bring in a big name to help run the offense, guy who can help recruit, knows the offense really well, knows his program. Like he was going to bring in Florida State guys. Like I think he's smart enough to know, hey, I can get you the guys you need. Like let you do your thing and let me do my thing. Because Dion's a CEO. Like that is Dion. Like Dion's not like, yes, he's the greatest corner of all time. He's maybe one of the greatest athletes of all time. But when it comes to like X's and O's, I think he knows that there are people that are better than him. So I think I think he's smart enough to go get a great coaching staff and bring them in. And look, the Pac-12 after USC and UCLA leaves next year to like go be in the Big Ten, they can win that. They can run that division. Because it's like you get Dion, like what high school kid doesn't want to go get coached by Deion Sanders and go live in Boulder, Colorado?
I think a lot of it is going to be NIL money, which is going to be a huge thing there, which at Boulder, you can definitely get some money. Like there's definitely been some like people that graduate from that school that would 100% support the program and stuff. I think that is going to be the key. And you just made an excellent point. If his ego can stay out of the way and say, okay, offensive coordinator, defense, this is your team. This is your defense. This is your offense. You're going to call the plays. You're going to, run your side of the team. I'm just going to get you the guys. I just don't know if Deion Sanders, his ego is going to allow him to completely stay out of the coordinator position. He's going to have opinions on how the offense is going to run. He's going to have opinions on what, defensive scheme you're going to run. And I think that's where it might run into a little bit of trouble, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? Like if he can stay out of people's way and he gets some really good and smart guys and those coordinators, I mean, the sky's the limit for that program and Deion, because you're right. What high school guy is gonna sit in a living room with Deion Sanders and not want to go play for him? That's like Nick Saban. It's like Nick Saban coming to your living room, like, and you're gonna listen. You're gonna go play for Nick Saban. He's that level of recruiter. So I agree with you on that one. I just think like he's got to let people that know better about X's and O's run the program essentially. So that's a good point by you for sure.
No, I just that's where I'm at. Like I just think Deion's the kind of guy who I never believed the Auburn hype. I think Auburn was too big of a job for him. I think he would have gotten way too much pressure put on him early. I think he would have crumbled. Not because like he couldn't do it, but just because like to go into that division, Nick, where you have to play Bama, LSU, A&M, Ole Miss, and Arkansas on a yearly basis.
Brutal.
And speaking of which, man, like I realized we haven't touched on it this week. Like we lost a great one last week.
Yeah, we did.
That was tough. I remember like Mike Leach back from like the Texas Tech days, like when I really, really started getting into college football, and him and Texas Tech and like Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree, and everyone remembers that incredible game where they upset Texas. And yeah, man, it's rough. It was kind of out of nowhere, which makes it even worse. prayers out to his family and his loved ones. I know they just had a memorial service today at Mississippi State, and I was actually talking to my sister about it today because we went to the Egg Bowl this year, and I was like, oh my God, like I just realized I went to Mike Leach's last game.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and I had never been to a game that he's coached at. So like that's the first time I ever got to see like a Mike Leach team in person, and I didn't realize that would be like the last one. So it's crazy. I hate it. I didn't even know he was like really sick. And I hate that so much. Like he was such an influential person in the game of college football. Like all the air raid stuff you see.
Oh man, the 5-wide set. Like remember he was revolutionary in college football. There's never been another guy that's been as influential on the sport as a whole than Mike Leach. I mean, before he did his thing with Texas Tech air raid, and then obviously went up to Washington and did it with I think Gardner Minshew out there, right? So, it was power I. It was establish the line of scrimmage. It was run the football first and second down, and maybe run a play action on third. Like it was a different time, and he changed it a lot by throwing the ball 60 times a game, and it made people change the way they think and how they approach defending in a college football game. So, that's something that I feel like I read a whole article about it, and just like I feel like that's something that gets lost in a little bit. Everybody remembers the funny moments of him, of his press conferences, and they are great. Don't get me wrong; he should be remembered for that as well, because he's an incredible character, one of the best, in sports history as far as a character goes. But man, he was a genius when it came to offensive schemes and stuff. As far as changing the way people, saw and how, they approached an offensive scheme in football. And that goes all the way to the NFL too, man. I mean, Patrick Mahomes,
Kyler Murray, like all these guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So I hate it. It was definitely a very sad day seeing that come across the feed. Obviously, there were kind of rumors going into it and stuff, and it was really sad. Definitely very, very sad. I hate it for him. I hate it for the family. But hopefully, with all it seems like college football for just a minute second put everything aside and came together and was just fans of Mike Leach the person. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, it really was, and it's like I said, it's sad. I'm glad to hear like Mississippi State's going to play in their bowl game in honor of them. I think it's going to be cool. Like it's at Raymond James, where there's a pirate ship for the pirate. Like you gotta. I mean,
Perfect.
It's meant to be. Like they're gonna. I don't know who they're playing. I think they're playing. Who are they playing? They're playing. Mississippi State is playing
Illinois.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna win.
That'll be a good game.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win for the pirate. They're gonna win for the
pirate. Did you see their helmets they're wearing?
Yes,
they're gonna have a pirate play. That's so cool too.
Absolutely sick. But yeah, moving on. We'll quickly go over this and wrap up the show. The Las Vegas Bowl, Oregon State and Florida, 30-3.
I had Florida in this game, and I've never before in my entire life looked at a game in the first quarter and said, "Yeah, I lost this one." Like it was like 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, and I was like, "Holy shit, they might lose by 60."
This game was just not fun to watch. Like this game was just rough. I mean, like, look, I know a few players from Florida didn't play. Anthony Richardson's going into the draft.
That's crazy.
I had a lot of, and I told you this, like I thought Florida was going to be like one of those teams. Like I could see them winning like 8 games this year, like, maybe like making a little bit of noise. First game of the year, they beat Utah, which if you put Utah and Florida against each other right now, Utah win by 30.
Oh, more than that.
It was, and then the Tennessee game was close. Like I was like, okay, they gave Tennessee a run for their money. Like Tennessee was good in Knoxville, and it came down to the last play.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee would beat them by 50 right now. Like this Florida team is broken. Like I don't know what they do from this. Like they need a huge bounce back year next year. But I mean, like that was the way they ended this year, Nick, was just rough.
Very brutal.
To lose the Vandy. I mean, like, come on. Like, what are you doing?
I love it for Vandy though. I still love the video of them storming.
I can't believe we cashed that. That was
in like week 4. On top of that, it was so early. I loved it.
It was great.
I think as a podcast, we need to start taking Vandy over total wins as like an annual thing.
We're gonna do it every year.
Every year we take Vandy over. Love it.
So we're gonna go over a few of the other games like coming up this week, and like I said, we'll touch on next week. Nick, Western Kentucky, South Alabama. I'm going. I'm repping the 2-5-1. I'm going with the Jags.
Well, I don't know what the spread is on this game, and I know nothing of these teams, so I'm going to take South Alabama just because I'm a ride or die.
It's South Alabama -4.
Give me South. Yeah, South. Give me the Jags all day. I want the Jags.
Yeah, so it's spread's -4. All right, we'll go. Let's hit this. Baylor Air Force. So right now, Baylor -4.
Give me that. That's cash.
It's in the Armed Forces Bowl, though.
Yeah, but it's Air Force. Air Force has been good all
year. What's the update on that guy, the Army guy that he was going to go to the draft?
Well, there's so much blowback that they're actually going to consider letting him go now. There was so much.
I think that's fair. I mean, like that would do wonders for that program. On top of that,
yeah, dude, he's a stud.
He could be a first-round pick. Like he's that good.
I think right now 2 guys. So he's either going to go second or third. But if he has a good combine, I could see him going in the first.
Yeah, for sure. He's a stud. I'm taking Baylor in that game, but that to go back because we didn't talk about this either. That's how long of a break it's been. We didn't talk Army and Navy. Both of those teams hilariously bad teams. Like as a whole, like can't score points at all. But also the best uniform game of all time. Both of those, the NASA uniforms for Navy was sick, and then the Army uniforms were incredible as well. So all-time uniform game in the Army Navy game. But I'm gonna go Baylor on that one, just because I don't know Army. I just don't know. I don't like them in this spot. So give me Baylor.
Okay, I'm gonna go Baylor too. All right, this one is I actually think has a chance to be a good game, and this is on. This is on Saturday. Wake Forest and Missouri. Sam Hartman, it's only a 1-point spread, Nick. Wake Forest is only favored by 1.
Is he transferred? He's already entered the transfer portal?
So he doesn't. So no, it hasn't been announced yet because he's either gonna go pro or he's gonna transfer. If I'm a D1 school and I have a quarterback controversy next year, I'm bringing in Sam Hartman. The kid's a baller.
Yeah, kid's a baller for sure.
Kid's a baller. I mean. I'm gonna go Wake. I mean, I don't know how you can bet against Wake Forest in this. Missouri is they had their 3 quarters of greatness against Georgia and then blew it.
That was their whole season, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's all I can give them. But I mean, Wake Forest, I think it's a good team. I think they didn't have Sam for a couple games, came back in, played Clemson to the wire, beat Florida State. I think that beat NC State. I think there's a good team. I just think Wake Forest ceiling is only so high,
Yeah, no, for sure. Wake Forest, I'm going to take them as well because I think Sam Hartman's probably sitting there okay, I'm either going to go pro or I'm transferring. I need a ball out in this game when the lights are on me so I can get the attention of I don't know, an Oklahoma State type team, you know what I mean, that can take his game to the next level. Mm-hmm. So I think he balls out in this game. I think Wake Forest big here. I don't like Missouri. I don't really know what they're trying to be as a team right now, to be honest.
Same. And then our last game, I'm calling this the Battle of the Mid Bowl. It's a guaranteed rate bowl. So that's how mediocre it is.
This is not the Battle of the Mid, bro. This is gonna be a Wisconsin slaughter.
Really?
Oregon State's gonna walk them up and down the field, dude.
You think Oklahoma State's going to slaughter?
Oklahoma State, yeah.
Yeah.
I do not think. Well, Wisconsin just hired.
He's not going to coach.
But he's not going to coach.
He's not going to coach it. He's going to So you have a head coach that was an interim that would have been a very good hire.
I think Leonard Wisconsin got a great hire with Finkel. I think he's going to do a fantastic job. I think, especially
but losing Leonard, I don't know if that was worth Finkel.
But here's the thing: I think Finkel is a good enough coach to rebuild this program pretty quick. Because look what he did with Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati is a great like representation of like what this guy can do. And
he made the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing. Wisconsin is in the easiest part of the Big Ten. They don't have so no Ohio State, no Michigan State, no Penn State in your division. So you can win 8 games and still play in the Big Ten championship as long as because Purdue lost Jeff Rom, so who knows what they're going to be. Illinois is whatever. Northwestern is good every other couple of years. Like he could come in next year and possibly make the Big Ten championship his first year.
Yeah, no, and he's in a good spot. He's in a very weak division for sure. Yeah. And he's in a situation where he could build a program to the point that it is essentially a 2-game season in the sense that he can dog walk his division and then beat, like the Michigans when he has to play them, when he has to cross divisions and play them, or Ohio State, and he beats them, and then also in your conference championship game. If you win those 2 games, you're in the playoffs. Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, if you're an 11-win team, Big Ten champion, Big Ten champion, then you're definitely in the playoff for sure, especially if you beat Ohio State. So he's easy.
The only way Wisconsin wins this game is if Graham Mertz does not play.
That's true.
Okay.
What's the spread on this one?
It is. It's actually Wisconsin is favored by 3.5.
Shut up! Get that.
Give me Oklahoma State plus 3.5 all day.
That's fishy.
I'm taking Oklahoma State in this game too. Spencer Sanders is entered the transfer portal, so I don't know if he's going to play this game. I would assume not.
Yeah, if you're entering the transfer portal, you're done.
He's an interesting character. Like, I'm curious to see like what he ends up. Like where he ends up going, because the kid's got crazy talent, but he's just so inconsistent. Gundy, I mean, look, some of us like picked Oklahoma State to be like a real force this year.
I think I had him in my playoff.
I had him my first team out. Wyatt had him in the playoffs too, and I picked him to win the Big Ten or the Big 12. But I mean, to be fair, everyone got the Big 12 wrong. Like, no one saw TCU coming. In fact, I went back and listened to our Big 12 show. I think I picked them to finish last.
Yeah, I picked them last too.
And everyone was like, it was either Kansas or TCU. And even JD McKell, or not JD McKell, we had Big Game Boomer on that episode. He picked TCU to finish last too. So
he actually knows his shit though too. Like, I know he's a troll, but he actually knows his shit.
He knows his shit. He's a master troll and he's good at what he does.
He's very good. I know he's a troll, and I'll look at something and still get mad about it. Like, I'll be like, God damn it. He gets me every time.
Yeah. But I mean, look, we got some time. I can't wait for our episode next week. We're going to do our big college football recap show and going over the New Year's 6 games. I'm excited. I'll be in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, and
as will I.
Yeah, so we will try and convince Nick and Wyatt to make the drive down if they can. That would be really cool if they could. But like I said, our boy Nick is on IR.
Currently, yeah.
And then Wyatt, I don't know, Wyatt. Are you going to be able to make it? You're going to join out of the cave real quick.
Wyatt's
getting married.
Up.
I'm getting married next week. I don't know if I'll be able to.
Bachelor
trip, dude. Bachelor trip.
Oh.
Bachelor trip.
Oh, why didn't we think of that before? That's a genius. Yeah.
No, Wyatt, you're driving down from Mobile. You're coming.
Bachelor trip.
Oh God. We'll see. We'll see if the trip happens.
If I go to the doctor and they don't saw my arm off tomorrow, I'm gonna try and make it. So that's gonna be if I can make it with a bum shoulder, I think you can have a freaking bachelor trip. Have you had one yet?
Yeah, I went to Birmingham.
Okay. Well, you need an actual you need a cruise bachelor trip where you might end up in jail. Like, that's the kind of, it's like a 50-50 shot, you know.
We'll see if the trip happens.
I have a very interesting story from a New Orleans prison, but I won't tell that on the show because it might get me canceled. So I cannot say that.
All right. Well,
but I have a story for you boys.
Well, we'll end on that note. Well, it's good being back. Like I said, we'll be back next week with our college football recap show. You can follow me online at The Real Cruise Ox on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow the Ox Cords on our socials. And, of course, follow Boo Crew Media. And also, happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
There you go. Shout out Cruz's mom. Tell her I'll pick her up at 9.
I will move you.
Well, yeah, drop a follow at InPerkins96 on Twitter. I don't do all the Instagram stuff, but if you want to see tweets about a guy high on Percocet, you can definitely go drop a follow there. So, Bond, let them know what you got.
You can follow me on Twitter at BondSnow_, and then as always, go follow us on TikTok at Oxcord Podcast.
You can follow me on Twitter at FultonW_. Follow me on Instagram at Dubs1024 and follow the Oxford Podcast on Twitter.
Love it. Good show, boys. Good show.
Good show. Right. Love you guys. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Oh, yes. Merry Advanced Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Advanced Christmas, and we'll see you guys next week.